I'll see you next week. Wait.
Oh, how lovely. Do you know what, Rach? After seeing that, I've forgotten how beautiful the Lake District is. I think I'm going to book myself a short break after the show this morning.
Yeah, I know, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Stunning, yeah.
And if you agree with us, well, don't forget that we want to hear from you at home. Each week, we'll be giving you a chance to pick where Cameron should visit next. So let us know your votes by dropping us a tweet or leaving a comment on our Facebook page.
But who says that you have to go big on a holiday, though? There are so many cheap and even free things that you can do with your family across the Northwest this summer. And right now, we're joined by our very own travel expert, Neil Robinson, who is here to share his inside knowledge regarding ways to have an enjoyable summer in the region at a low cost. Good morning to you, Neil. Now, when I think of tourism in this country, I think like a lot of people, I always think about expensive places, Blackpool Tower, Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, but it doesn't have to be like that, does it?
It doesn't, and you've mentioned a number of the key corporate providers, but in the Northwest, for example, you know, we've got an array of very cheap, affordable attractions. So, for example, Manchester University has a wonderful exhibition on at the moment, and that's part of the museum they have there. That's free. If you go to the Maritime Museum in Liverpool, they've got the Titanic and Lusitania exhibition on. That's also free, and next door's the Tate Gallery. So that's very accessible. And also in terms of the more traditional historic components, you've got Chester, which is free to access, and you can walk the city walls. And like Cameron was saying, he's been to the Lake District, which is an area of outstanding natural beauty.
Yep, and all of these are accessible like by a train, aren't they?
Very accessible, and if you can use public transport, even better. Protects the environment, and there's no hassle parking your car.
Yeah.
You know, it's great as well having a day trip, but I think part of the experience about going on holiday is also staying over too. And there's been a rise, I've noticed, in like budget places to stay, one of them being Airbnb. And what would you say to people, Neil, who are quite concerned about booking through these?
Yeah, I think you need to be careful. I would always say to anyone, firstly, if the deal appears very, very good, you know, be somewhat sceptical of it. If the organisation, if it's a hospitality enterprise and they have a physical entity, give them a call, just make sure they exist. And also, if you're using things like PayPal or if you're using your credit card, it's a lot safer, because if the organisation is fraudulent, you can at least get in contact with a third party and they'll take it up on your behalf.
We've had a tweet from Jodie in Bolton. She says, I like the idea of staying local and going on holiday in the Northwest, but some of the hotel prices are expensive as travelling abroad. So obviously we've mentioned Airbnb there, but what other options are there?
There are a rich array of options. I would always say use social platform. I know the likes of Twitter are actually going into hospitality provision as well of recent weeks, so that's quite good. But yeah, book well in advance. You know, you're going to have to pay a high premium, but you're guaranteed. Alternatively, if you're not too bothered about where you could actually stay on the night, leave it as long as possible and just book on the day.
And then, where's your favourite place to go, Neil?
That's a good question. I'd probably have to say somewhere like Buxton. I was in Buxton not so long ago with the family. It's very flat, very accessible, and there's the Devonshire Dome, which is very historic, and you can visit that. You can have spa treatment, and you can also have a look around the inside of the building, which is very beautiful and historic.
Well, we thank you for stopping by, Neil, and I'm sure you'll be back soon with some more expert advice.
Yeah, now we've actually had a few suggestions on where Cameron should visit next week, and quite a few people are calling for Chester. Now, apparently, in 2013, a USA Today poll found Chester to be the 5th most romantic destination to visit in Europe, according to the Americans, ahead, believe it or not, of both Venice and Paris. Now, that is surprising, Rach.
Yeah, ahead of Paris and Venice it is, yeah. I actually went to Chester a couple of weeks ago, and it was very pretty, very beautiful.
And I've actually been to both Venice and Paris, but it was with the parents, so I haven't really managed to experience the romantic side of it just yet. And with that, we are sadly nearly at the end of the show, but we always save the best until last.
Yes, we've spoken a lot about where you could potentially go on holiday, but how about we make it just that little bit easier for you with this week's competition? Jake Hurst has all the details.
Sun's out.